Will Stancil, the most hated man in politics. Are you familiar with a Will Stancil?
I don't think I am.
Put a 1 in chat if you are familiar with the Will Stancil.
Please hit like on the video, as it helps the channel and the algorithm. If you want to support,
it's playing the Kirby air ride music, dude.
You can cash out and donate at $Shamu411. Also, channel memberships and super chats are enabled. Thank you. Today,
true. Channel memberships and super chats are enabled here too. By the way,
if this is the Will Stancil guy, I don't know if it is, but
yeah, that is him. That is the Will Stancil.
He has a very punchable face already. I just...
Great day, because we're finally going to be the ones to regale the tale of Will Stancil. Stancil is your stereotypical Spurg Twitter poster, where he will spend days...
Minnesota.
...arguing with just about everyone in the most pompous and hysterical of ways. Stancil, who ran for office in Minnesota's District 61A, is a staunch Bidenomics defender.
More like 69B.
A year of both the left and the right spectrums of the political online.
Wait, hold up. This came out a month ago. Premiered January 27th. Okay. So this is relatively up to date.
Troll and argue with him. Will Stancil, while running for office in Minnesota, would dox people, make calls of violence towards elected officials, also run his political opponent off of the internet using his involuntary rabid Stancil fan.
Wait, hold up. What was a screenshot for doxing?
Office in Minnesota would dox people.
Does anyone know the identity of this person? This fake tweet they create now gets retweeted as many times a day as has been the basis of many death threats.
I know that guy. He tweeted about a doxing today.
People make calls of violence towards elected officials and also run his political opponent off of the internet using his involuntary rabid Stancil fan base.
I have pre-watched this before. I just want to show Chaz and you all this because it's funny.
Research fellow centering around civil rights policy and housing and education. He's been published by The Atlantic 8 different times.
The guy's every photo he's in, every video frame, he just looks like such a douche.
He has like the least amount of charisma ever
in housing and education.
Wait, let's read some of his article titles. What Dante Rice killing foretells for the suburbs in 2021. The white suburbs that fought busing aren't so white anymore.
8 different times.
Ignorance was bliss for the children of the college admission scandal.
And has appeared as an expert for Mother Jones and NBC News. On the internet, though, Will is widely known as a messiah from both the far right and left of the political spectrum.
It's someone who's in theory educated, but who just seems to have some sort of brain injury, like preventing them from understanding other people's arguments. Some of Stancil's tweets go so far over the edge that I really believe that if a right-winger tweeted them, progressives would at least consider them like creepy or borderline threatening. And he's a complete freak.
His political positions are hated by both the right and the left. The far left also hates Will Stancil because
I have no idea what's going on with this background footage right now.
He says the economy's great and everyone's doing great. Look at the charts. And meanwhile, everyone's like, no, we're struggling. We're barely getting by. Housing is not affordable. Healthcare sucks. I mean, and then he's like, no, look at this chart. People love their healthcare. And he'll just like,
yeah,
I love China.
That do not reflect.
If you want to know how like worthless of a measure GDP is, just know that the county, or like, I think maybe state, technically, it's not actually really, or the city with the highest GDP is Washington, D.C., and it's not even close.
What the majority of people feel in this country.
There's so much manufacturing for DC.
Regularly fighting with leftists on Twitter over his exuberant filleting of Joe Biden on his Twitter and Substack. One post specifically written to Biden.
Oh, hell yeah. The Wii shot music.
You've passed an astonishingly large portion of your agenda under difficult conditions. You have written your name down in history as one of the most successful domestic policy presidents of all time. Against all odds,
This is the funniest thing ever. It's the same pretentiousness as like the Dear Sega video for the Sonic redesign, but like, you know, like addressing your letter, like your Substack thing straight to Joe Biden.
Joe Biden 100%, bro. Dude, Joe Biden, he just got home, right? He's about to go to bed. He's super tired. He's super sad. And he opens his phone and sees a notification. You know what? You know who it's from, Manic?
Will Stancil.
Will Stancil, man. And you know what? That perked Joe Biden right up. He managed to get a good night's sleep. And the first thing he did that morning when he woke up the next day, go on vacation. Because you know what? He earned it. I'm sure Will Stancil would tell him. It's okay.
with large majorities you never had.
His shameless ball washing of Biden and takes on how the U.S. economy was in
Ball washing.
Ball washing.
Homelessness rose 18%, and a record number of citizens unable to pay rent hit a record highs, would create a deluge of people on the left just totally shitting.
Oh, but that's clearly white supremacy's fault.
Chestnut dressed up in an 80-year-old sweater that regurgitates talking points he saw on Reddit once without actually understanding what they mean or the concepts behind them. Will Stancil is such a brazen, duplicitous wretch. I'd say Will Stancil is less of a centrist, more of an idiot. Stancil
blue page, like, okay, that's like a Simpsons profile picture, and this one like the Captain America shield, blue paint, and has the blue wave like emoji.
Stancil is less of a centrist and more of an.
This is such dead internet theory, bro.
The amount of hate he was getting from the left and tweets with.
You can go review any of the 2,000 pylons from the last couple of months, and it's hundreds of lefties acting like antisocial, abusive jerks, using violent language, threatening me, issuing personal insults, and me saying I disagree over and over.
I like how in this image there's like a JBL speaker just right there, just like
God bless that rap, bro.
you guys.
You're looking for someone
Down with the cause.
in many ways
Exactly.
the defining feature of all bad.
Rage Against the Machine.
Am I allowed to abuse? And you think it's me because your equally bad and insecure friends have all decided it's me?
Lol.
Yeah, we did. Deal with it.
Come on, you can't be this soft.
Your psyche would shatter if you were exposed to, quite literally, 1/100th of the abuse I receive every 6 hours.
The great disdain for Will, though, didn't just stop at Twitter, as a user would upload a receipt for a hot dog he had purchased just to note that he was eating alone. I suppose to note that also the public cannot stand Will Stancil.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Stancil would also attempt to convince people that the public's worries about Biden's age and possible senility was a product of the media pushing a narrative.
Oh, that didn't age well. That didn't age well.
All those things.
Got him.
Child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID.
Bruh, these
Yeah.
effects, dude.
Dude, do you hear him say skibbity?
I did.
I skibbity with.
Everything we have to do with look, if we finally beat Medicare.
What Will wasn't expecting, though, was for
We finally beat Medicare.
4 years ago.
Okay, a
We beat it.
amazing thing I'm learning is that in private, many people
This is March 2020. This tweet is from March of 2020.
in politics will freely talk about how Biden isn't all there anymore, but many don't care because they want to beat Bernie, intentionally trying to nominate a candidate approaching senility, Democratic elites and media elites abdicating their duties to the public to foist an incapable and unfit candidate on the country.
The online left's hate.
So he completely just switched up over like 3 to 4 years. Like once.
Joe Biden's senile 5 years later. He's not senile. Oh, wow.
Exactly.
For Stancil,
Dude, no
to such an
way.
extent, people began to commission diss traps about him.
Meet Mr. Will Stancil, the finest tweet writer. Dork boy Willie, the Biden meat rider. Always on the web like you find many spiders. Old man fetish he desires to tweet every minute just so he could feel important. But everything that comes up out his mouth, horseshit. He hugs Biden's nuts real tight and it's nuts how he got lots of opinions.
It's ass.
Suck, little cuck man, genocide Joe's.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I'm kind of over Gen Z, not gonna lie. Gen Z influencers who support Biden in 2020 turn against him by Taylor Lorenz.
Crazy.
I like how the way this is framed. It's the Gaza war, the lack of progress on climate change, and potential TikTok ban. Is like, yeah, that's the reason.
He looks like Elon Musk is his real dad, and Michael Cera is his real mom. Big facts, she's a super bad pundit, but he thinks he's Superman. Cringeworthy Willie, he's a wannabe celeb. Hawk to what he says when he's
Fucking Hawk Tuah. They actually reference Hawk Tuah in this.
Crazy.
Look at him trying to say that everything is fine, even when you're fucking milk.
Okay, can we skip? How much long? This.
Yeah.
So he could feel like he the man.
That's the worst thing ever.
When he gets attacked by leftists, he doesn't move right. He just antagonizes centrists and right wingers until they come for him too.
In January 2024, Stancil would begin another feud.
That's a good way to go. But if you're getting attacked by one side, make sure you antagonize the other side, and even the centrists too.
You know what, Manic? I think the left and right can come together for the first time in like decades to clown on Will Stancil. Imagine unifying two very different sides of the same coin just so that they can roast you. Like that is impressive. How do you do it?
Also, I can't even tell if this image is like an edit or not. Like, is he actually wearing the Cookie Monster hat?
you can see his hair.
Yeah, like the hair and the shirt is what got me. Yeah.
However, this time with far-right political commentator Steve Saylor.
It all ties together because when the establishment, as they did after George Floyd's death, said, okay, here's the biggest problem in America, even bigger than COVID for the moment, is we impose too much law.
I'm watching this purely for entertainment purposes, YouTube.
On order on.
We love George.
Yeah. I personally rebuilt him. That's where I was the past year.
We'll be in the the number of shootings, the number of homicides.
You're fine-tuning the AI.
And you have the numbers, right?
It was painstaking. Okay. I was in the droid project.
Can we see him?
The Center for Disease Control.
The droid file.
Data weekly on all the deaths in the United States. You can ask for any one particular thing.
Yeah, but who killed them?
Death. All right. The red line is
yeah, dude, that went up like
Americans who died by homicide.
That went up way like that.
It's bouncing around. It has some seasonality. George.
It's like okay, so the red line is black homicide deaths and the blue is black road deaths, which I'm assuming is like car accidents.
Floyd dies and suddenly boom, it goes to
it went way up.
Stancil would begin criticizing.
So George Floyd died, and so a bunch of other black people just decided to drive their car 80 miles an hour into a concrete wall. Is that how it worked? they just like heard it on the radio, like no. They just like hard, like going 100 miles on the freeway to just floor it. It's like it's crazy.
DEI hiring practices in aviation.
How has plane crashes are the fault of black people become a right-wing article of faith, especially during a 15-year stretch of zero commercial crashes by U.S. airlines?
Steve Saylor would respond by saying that the New York Times were running a big series of articles on the growing incompetence of air traffic control, leading to a surge of near misses, and that Obama had lowered standards in ATC to hire more black people.
The way these guys think is that they find something bad in the world and then they figure out a way to blame it on black people. It's actually insane. Like, they've eliminated the need to find an actual black person to blame. All social ills are just presumptively the fault of black people for maybe existing in the general proximity of the problem.
When Steve Saylor responded with a New York Times article celebrating airlines beginning DEI hiring to diversify the pilot profession, Stancil simply responded with,
"This dude is just a Klansman."
Stancil would even go so far as to retweet cuck fantasies about Saylor in his replies. Quote, "Shame on you."
Destiny clip.
What perfect background footage.
Bro, I love using that clip whenever I could.
Steve, I just think the hatred you have in your heart over all your relationships, ended by some suave ethnic men, is not a path.
Low zoom in.
Stancil would fire back at accounts attacking him by reassuring them that he was actually correct because he had an actual postgraduate degree.
He studied black people. He has a master's.
I have a degree, Manic. Therefore, I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Exactly.
Studies.
I have a master's degree in Reconstruction era Black history.
Why?
That sounds like such a useless degree.
Okay, it's probably a joke. I doubt that is true. But even if, let's say it is true, of all the degrees to get in, why did you think that needed to be your calling? White savior complex much? Huh?
I'm pretty sure he's in his 30s, nearing 30, and like lives with roommates. So clearly it was not lucrative for him.
Nope.
Because of this DEI disagreement with Saylor, Stancil would be liberal dystopias of the American 19th century.
The Trump right plans to bring back Jim Crow norms, and it could happen. They have explicit plans to eliminate the legal rules and standards that prevent discrimination against black people, and they're hard at work stigmatizing all black professionals as dangerously underqualified. The idea—
I mean, didn't Trump actually just like have a press conference with like a 13-year-old black kid who, you know, like
the one with brain cancer?
Yeah. But clearly Trump hates black people, right?
Yeah, no, like, and dude, it was it was in front of the whole Congress, and who didn't clap?
Who?
Like all of the Democrats did not clap.
Crazy.
None of them.
incredibly widespread on the right, almost completely normalized now, held by everyone from Elon Musk on down. Because of that, they feel comfortable dismissing any black.
Elon Musk is racist too now, I guess.
Or the social caste system, where a black person couldn't be a doctor, lawyer, pilot, or in any role of professional responsibility, where most can't go to college. This in turn relegates black.
What do you like?
Class citizenship.
I just happy with this.
What's his fucking point? Like, oh no, Trump wants to cut down on like useless college scholarships and shit. Oh, so what? You think black people can't go to college on their own merit? What you think that they're not smart enough to get into college by themselves? Oh wait, they need a dozen other useless scholarships to make sure that they get in college? Oh, but college should just be free, you know?
Yeah, not to mention the scholarships or like, you know, the general like federal aid tends to just make college more expensive for everyone.
The support he was receiving for righteously taking down racists on Twitter in arguments nobody will remember besides me and now the humble viewers, Stancil began to bemoan the lack of support he was getting.
Lots of left-wingers are like critical support for Will in his war against the racists, and then offer no actual support and don't fight the racists.
Yeah, that's the left. no, that's just the left. We stand with Palestine. Am I going to stand?
Nothing.
Like, am I going to actually step foot in Palestine? Am I actually going to go into Gaza? No, fuck no. But we stand with them. That's just the left in the entirety. They just say, we stand with you. We got your back. But when the chips are down, when it's time for them to actually do shit, they'll never do shit.
Yeah.
And like he literally is seeing that firsthand. Like, he's too dumb to understand. Like, oh wait, I wonder what this actually fucking means. Just whole when the hurricane hit a couple months back, right? Like the Biden administration did jack shit.
Oh, North
right?
Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. Like lots of like the roads were destroyed. Nothing was getting done. Like within a few days of Trump being in office, didn't he actually send people to North Carolina to like help him out a bit?
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Like
that is something I'm pretty sure even before he was president, just as a campaign stunt, he went down there personally.
Yeah, exactly. Like at least he's trying. Wow. Look at this tweet. This tweet right here fully encapsulates the left in general. I'm on the left. The left say they support me, but they haven't done anything. It's like, whoa. So I think he's starting to finally get it.
Let's see how this story continues.
And don't fight the racists, which is why the racists make headway. I promise you, I don't have time or energy to monitor anyone specifically here. I'm just saying it's been pretty lonely out getting swarmed by the worst accounts on earth, and most of the people punching back have been centrist liberal types.
The comment sections of interviews Stancil did at the time would be filled entirely of pro Steve Saylor and ironic Stancil posters hailing him and victory.
So this begins a fight that has persisted now for months.
The latest, direct from the Stancil offensive front lines. For 8 days, the battle has raged on.
The Stancil offensive.
PhD in African-American
D-Day.
William Stancil wages his long shot campaign to disprove human genetics. But how can he hold out against wave after wave of enemy fire? Supply lines run thin and morale is low. But now you can aid in the fight. Rush to passage.press and get your own copy of Noticing by Steve Saylor. If we sell 100,000 books, we'll buy Will Stancil a Cadillac Eldorado.
In the end of Stancil's crusade, Steve Saylor's publisher would create a free
buy him a Subaru.
Stancil as the code. Its CEO and founder would later announce the Passage Press team celebrating our highest grossing week of the year, courtesy of Will Stancil. #thanks Will.
I should probably stop fighting with the.
Wait. Let's. So because of this Steve Saylor Will Stancil beef, Steve Saylor's book had a promo code Stancil, and then it became the best-selling book that week.
The code.
That's hilarious.
Would later announce
that's the Chad move.
Team celebrating our highest grossing week of the
year. That's how you end a beef right there.
#thanks Will.
I should probably stop fighting with the and the eugenicists and the racist creeps, but I just cannot believe we are in the 3rd decade of the 21st century and still having to contend with this. Everyone is even afraid to admit how far it's gone. We have to fight them.
Stancil is your stereotypical modern-day liberal, as portrayed by the run-of-the-mill right-wing commentators online. He is a picturesque image of the soy, nerdy white guy who will tweet endlessly about white people in a generally
if you look at that snippet.
Hey, can we go to the early life for his Wikipedia real quick?
Does Will Stancil have a Wikipedia? Is he even that relevant?
Okay, I mean, like he tweets all day, so I'm sure someone.
Yeah, me. So do I. And I don't think I have. I don't even have a Wikitubia.
Oh, all right, bozo.
And like this scrolling thing. It's literally just like searching white people in his profile.
Negative way. The classic caricature.
It's scrolling so fast.
All the tweets on the screen or a portion of his tweets, including the phrase, quote, white people. For example, when white people go into uniformly white spaces, an alarm should trigger saying something is off. An Elon Musk post wherein a 4-time deported illegal immigrant killed a mother and son while committing a DUI for the 6th time would be countered by Stancil with, if you want to reduce crime, you're better off deporting white people. Musk is targeting immigrants because he's a xenophobic creep trying to spread hate.
I thought if
is this guy serious? Okay, Manic, pause. Are we sure we're not just getting got? Like, are we absolutely certain we're not just getting duped by like the most hardcore try-hard troll? There's no way.
I don't know. It gets worse. I don't think you're ready for it. Yeah, but how are you enjoying this Will Stancil lore, chat? How are you enjoying it?
Tweeting about abolishing the police from the safety of his very low crime neighborhood. You know, the kind of guy who tweets trans women are women and pats himself on the back for being a good male feminist, like that kind of guy.
But he's like one of these white guys that will live in white areas and, you know, stuff like that while like advocating for blacks and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, you know, he's kind of like a wigger, but then he hates himself as a white man. So he's like has a lot of like anti-white stuff that he does. I mean, he just basically follows this like anti-white liberal ideology. He would be happy if white people became a minority in the United States.
As the trolling continued, Stancil would begin to solicit the doxes of his enemies for posting obviously fake screenshots of him saying outlandish things.
Does anyone know the identity of this person? This fake tweet they created now gets tweeted at many times a day and has been the basis of many death threats. I'd like to know who they are.
Quote, what did Will Stancil mean?
I had to let an immigrant my daughter so I'd get to keep eating authentic tacos and kebabs. I do it.
Accuse ex-owner Elon Musk of being a coke addict.
Elon Musk's internet and drug-fueled viral madness, combined with his predilection for foreign dictators and his inconceivable...
What a lame like accusation to throw at a billionaire. Oh, you're addicted to cocaine.
A rich man does coke. Oh, whoa, no way. Like, you could have seen that one coming. I guess everything Elon Musk has said or done is just, you know, thrown out the window, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And his control of one of the nation's main communications platforms.
I mean, if anything, if this is what Elon could do on coke, why am I not doing it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least a big problem.
I disavow, actually.
Yeah. I don't want to.
Musk is doing massive amounts of coke at work. The thing about libel is truth is a complete defense.
The idea of an allegation.
Okay, does Will Stancil not know that you can just lock in sometimes?
Lock in.
True. Troll and X bravely would share a dark secret Will Stancil had been hiding for over a decade. Will Stancil
do you see the N-word?
At a New Year's Eve party in 2000.
Oh, wait.
Defamatory.
Oh, shit.
Elon Musk has a drug abuse problem and probably does a lot of cocaine at work is not defamation because it's true and I believe it. This, on the other hand, is 100% defamation by any standard. Anyway, I probably should sue this guy for real, huh?
Stancil's response, though, only motivated more people to respond, and what he was left with was 451,000 views and 500 replies all saying things like, it's not defamation, I was there, I saw you do it. Who did you with? There have been others. It's not defamation. Just stop with the but what if I believe it?
Just stop it, Will. Stop it, please.
I remember hearing about this a couple
You
years
have a problem.
If you didn't want people to say that, maybe you shouldn't have that woman at a New Year's Eve party.
False allegation against me. The people making it know it's false. They are trying to retaliate against me for accurately talking about the site owner's real and widely reported drug problem.
Funnily enough, to add salt to this
minions,
Will made in regards to the hashtag movement, where he explained,
it never mattered how robust individual allegations against these guys were. It only mattered that there were a lot of them all at once. The public operates with a different burden of proof than the legal system. Volume counts more than detail.
On February 21st, Will Stancil.
Yeah, so he's literally just digging his own grave with his own rhetoric. Right.
Yep.
It's like believe all women, but unless it's against me.
Exactly.
Wait. Okay. Mysterious K in chat says Tyrone says if someone with tism does cocaine, it makes them focus more and is just a stronger Adderall. That's.
I mean, I've got autism and I have trouble focusing.
That is a dangerous thing to tell him.
But yeah, I disavow. What? Telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, man. You know, no,
I have like a really funny IRL coke story that I probably shouldn't share here.
Tell me off stream.
His two biggest assets apparently being metro planning and a dislike of far-right extremism. We can assume he means his ever-increasing fans who fill his replies.
Okay.
What happens next?
Look at that. So he's trying to run for like an office in the government.
Yep.
All he can say is, we got to fix the roads, and I don't like the far right. I think that this is a lot of the reasons why the left is starting to fall apart. Because for the longest time, their only source of, fight back, their only biggest point is, I'm not the far right fascist that this guy is, And
I mean, thing is in Minnesota, there's like okay, maybe there is good fear, but I don't think there's it's not like he's gonna be running against some far right wing guy in Minnesota.
Who in Minnesota would just say, I'm running for office and HH, right? I'll say it like that. Just like Roman salute right there, right then.
Honestly, okay, I'm not gonna lie. Somebody who would do that would probably be an Arab.
Okay. And if they did that today, though, maybe it would work. Maybe. But it won't happen because it's in Minnesota.
Yeah. Okay. I want to check something.
It's far right.
Yeah.
So Metro plan, and he's running for Minnesota House District. So I'm pretty sure. So the Minnesota House, not like the United States Congress. I'm pretty sure he's referring. So he'll be in the Minnesota Congress House.
We can assume he means his ever-increasing.
This campaign won't be conducted on Twitter, but if you like what I'm generally about, or like metro planning and dislike far right extremism, here you go.
Fans.
So that's him trying to sell himself for office.
Yeah.
I don't like far right extremism. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to like it, but can you also
what's your better alternative?
Can you also just not be a pretentious douche that fights back against the few people that might actually be on your side?
Yeah.
How about that?
Exactly.
Stancil, though, left me totally shocked due to the creativity and effort Stancil's put forth in their appreciation of Will. On the same day, Katie Jones would announce she was running against Stancil in the district. Right off the bat, she was far more successful and qualified for the position.
Whoa, hold up, Manic, bro. Is he really gonna take the spot that a woman deserves in Congress? Bro, his kind of politics, right? The second a woman starts going up against him, he should just dip, She's a strong, independent woman. She knows more about these issues than you do, a straight white man. I assume straight and white. You should just take a step back and say, I concede. Shut up, Will. A woman is talking. Do you think you would do that? No.
Absolutely. You won't believe what's about to happen.
You won't believe what's happening next.
You will have no idea.
Stancil's cared about. The only thing they were interested in was a total Will Stancil victory.
Assemble. Please drop out. We want Will Stancil. Will Stancil has entered this race. This is a job for a man, not a woman.
Base.
But he's still my candidate choice. As a strong.
Holy shit. Bro, when you okay. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But even the trolls are like the trolls are so anti-Will, they want him in office just to make an even bigger ass out of himself. That's so great.
Will Stancil hates the far right so much that his only supporters are the far right.
The far right. Holy shit. That is so funny, dude. How does that even happen?
The least racist fan, and I am ordering you for the race. Drop out. Will Stancil is going to win. The William Stancil staffel will be knocking on your door soon, Katie. Stancils are standing by. If you don't.
Like this filled Katie Jones' replies in her announcement of running for political office. People began to notice to the point where Will was forced to address the overwhelming support he was getting from the politically far right.
They are pretending to support me because they know that that's more toxic and damaging than saying they hate me. Do not be suckers about this. These people are driven.
I mean, okay, at the very least, he's right about that, right?
Yeah, he is kind of fair. Yeah.
Yeah, but he put himself in this situation.
I mean, he just got the attention of the wrong crowd, frankly.
Yeah.
And an urge to humiliate me because I've been trying to draw attention to how toxic they are. A campaign of abuse, supposedly in my name, accomplishes both.
This passionate group of Stancil supporters, dubbed by some as the Stancil staffel, and their fever support of Will in his political opponent's replies, would literally drive Katie off of the platform of X altogether, just a few days after her announcement for office.
As a female candidate, it is my duty to advocate for women in leadership. I, as well as other women and underrepresented groups, have every right to seek elected office and to be treated with respect. What was once a democratizing tool to communicate
Okay, she disabled like replies. So I could just imagine just the horde of responses to that alone.
Oh yeah, and all the quote tweets too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
that poor soul, dude.
The Stancil squad literally drove her off Twitter.
Stancil stay winning.
Extremists. My campaign will be limiting use of this platform to stay focused on direct caucus and convention outreach with voters in the district.
Some members of the Stancil Stoffel would then directly reply to Katie's Twitter retreat with a video doxing all of her personal info.
Okay, yeah, no, that's not good. That's not good. Oh.
This conflict between Stancil and his political opponent.
No, that's a step too far.
Yeah, that obviously. Stancil's took the L there.
As J. Patrick Cooligan of the Minnesota Reformer would run a story asking what Stancil extremists were doing in the South Minneapolis race. She started getting harassed on Twitter almost immediately. It came from the far right. She was doxxed and received an anonymous threat. It got so bad she decided to all but leave what would have otherwise been an important platform for connecting with the district and fundraising. Why did Stancil Stoffel take an interest in Katie Jones and a South Minneapolis legislative race? Enter Will Stancil, a liberal online pugilist who feels duty-bound, or perhaps he's a masochist, to take the fight to the far right. They tried to break into Stancil's accounts, doxed him, and accused him of rape. Quote, he's been swinging a bat at a hornet's nest of right-wing Twitter, and the hornets are out, Katie Jones told me. But Stancil isn't backing down with his fight with the far right. You can't pretend the far right extremism in this country isn't happening, Stancil said. You need to have an answer to that. Unfortunately, if nothing else, for the health and safety of the people in this district. As a quick aside, Will, what the are you talking about, dude? You're protecting the health and safety of the people in your district? Will, you are having shit-flinging arguments on a social media platform. That doesn't make you the Batman of Minnesota. There is no off-ramp to spurred fighting with trolls and far-right people on Twitter where you win over the ideological hearts and minds of the people through these, in many cases, pointless argument for me to laugh about.
Yeah, if you're having arguments on Twitter, I don't think that's not conducive for like changing people's minds, really.
It's a waste of time entirely.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm naive, but I refuse to believe the future safe.
Like, people don't go on Twitter thinking, oh, I'm going to have my viewpoints like... I'm gonna challenge my viewpoints. If someone makes a compelling argument, I'll change. No, they don't do that. No one on Twitter goes on that platform with that mentality. No, they go on there with like, I believe this. Nothing will change my mind. Nothing at all. And if you even try, I'll call you. I'll say whatever the hell I want. Right? It never works. I tried, man. Sonic fans, like I've tried.
Sonic fan. Okay. Speaking of another online Twitterspurg. Not yet. I just saw this. So Hassan Piker was on Theo Von's podcast, and take a quick guess on what video a certain fan base is brigading for their extreme views. And it's like comparing Candace Owens to Hassan Piker, and because like they were on like I guess like days apart from each other.
Okay.
And Hassan Piker's like, we can't let Clandis beat me on this. Like, she stole anti-Semite of the year from me. Go show so Hassan Piker doesn't have nearly as many views as Candace does.
Dude, that's so sad.
Yeah, but he's trying to like gas up his fan base to go watch Theo Von.
I think we should give that video a like just for Hassan.
Just for Hassan.
Being decided by the Soy Stancil Twitter guy sending 20 to 25 tweets a day about how Bidenomics is actually heckin' based and how men can actually get pregnant in the current year of 2025.
Wow.
I have thought the Stancil Stoffel would be involved in a state legislative race in Minneapolis. The incumbent of the 61A House seat told me. It would get worse, however, as his far-right supporters would be the very first to create a Will Stancil website, showing their support in his campaign bid before he was even able to register a domain. The site includes Stancil bangers, such as the issue with white supremacy gaining ground among black passing Mexican and Latino.
White supremacy is gaining ground among black passing individuals within the Mexican and Latino community is particularly troubling. It underscores a complex.
It also has a call to action to make Minnesota 61A the home of refugee camps. Our community.
Heckin' based.
Yeah, that's how you strengthen your community. That's how you do it.
President Biden is under fire for not letting enough refugees into Minnesota, a state renowned for its warm embrace of newcomers. With its rich tapestry of Somali, Hmong, and Karen communities, Minnesota stands ready.
Karen communities. Okay, that's a good one.
Are falling short of expectations. Mr. President, allow Minnesota to lead the nation. Please, Mr. President, forever home all refugees across America in my backyard, Minnesota. We will accommodate every single refugee in the 61A district. They even created an online store for the campaign with a water container titled Vote Stancil. A pillow prominently featuring his opponent titled Sleep with Women. Don't vote for him.
Oh, that's such horrible optics, dude, for a like Democratic primary in Minnesota.
Bro, having merch sold under your name, dude. There's gotta be at least like 1 or 2 people that actually bought that pillow, not paying with Will at all, and that's great.
As well as a conspicuous Will Stancil flag.
Oh, shit. No way.
At all. The URL was poached by Neil a few weeks ago and has been linked to racist and anti-Semitic content in an attempt to falsely associate me with it.
The far-right fan-made Stancil website included ActBlue donation links. To my shock, they actually redirect to Stancil's real donation page.
But pretty soon after this went online, a left-wing enemy of Will's took advantage of it.
Carl Bejer, a left-wing ex-user who detested Stancil, would write up an exclusive on his website claiming the mock Stancil website had raised $15,000 for the Stancil campaign. Cody Hurst, a hard-right activist who runs a parody website for newly declared Minnesota State House candidate Will Stancil, claims to have raised nearly $15,000 for his campaign. That is roughly the same amount that Stancil claims to have raised in the first 24 hours of his campaign. The figures raise troubling questions about Stancil's fundraising strategy and what measures, if any, he is taking to prevent right-wing extremists from determining the outcome of his race. We've raised through ActBlue $15,000 in the first 24 hours, Hurst told me in an interview Friday evening.
I'm assuming that's probably pretty good for like a Minnesota House district.
Oh yeah, just like it's a very specific small.
And I'm assuming it would be non-competitive.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like this, there's no way a Republican would win like a Minnesota House district, right? Like in, I'm assuming in his area.
Not in Minnesota, not in his area, not at all.
Stancil, for his part, has posted a tweet denying association with Hurst's website, but Stancil has also been cagey about his campaign's finances, dodging questions whether he will accept public financing. And critics, meanwhile, allege that Stancil may in fact see ironic donations for the right as a way to gain fundraising edge against his primary opponents. Quote, "It's really gross that you deliberately attracted a group of virulent, misogynistic racists right before declaring your run for office," Eric, a regulatory specialist from Chicago, told Will Thursday evening. As of this writing, Stancil has also refused to say whether his campaign is making any efforts to screen out and return donations from Stancil would accuse Carl of working with the enemy.
A pretty prominent leftist is openly working with a racist to spread a lie about me.
Carl would respond by saying the Stancil Stoffel are literally doxing me, threatening to murder me, and Steve Saylor is sicking his followers on me. And Will Stancil is telling people I am working with them simply because I reported on the Stancil Stoffel who are supporting him. Stancil's passion and extreme paranoia began to grow in regards to the far right. It would begin to dominate not only his Twitter, but his campaign as well. As you can see from his Ballotpedia.
I seriously haven't, like, I actually don't understand this guy's any kind of policy he had. It actually just is I hate the far right and fascists.
Okay, this is his policy platform, right?
No, are we sure that this isn't the troll like the troll page?
I think it's on his forum? I'm pretty sure it says it's on his Ballotpedia.
Okay,
so literally the first thing, myriad dangers created by the rise of far right radicalism in America. Of course.
And there it is.
The risk of losing civil rights, reproductive rights, and voting rights. The rule of law itself is in danger.
So vote for me. I'll make sure the rule of law stays. Oh, I'm sure you will.
Gutting institutions like schools and universities, destroying important public services, and undoing important environmental and climate protections. Resisting far-right radicalism is the core purpose of my run for office. So yeah, it's literally just like far right is bad. They will do bad things.
Far right is good. Far right is bad. Therefore, I am good. Is his mentality, and it's just.
Yep.
To be your state's greatest challenge over the next decade.
I think the biggest political challenge in Minnesota, and indeed much of the U.S.
Oh, thank you for reading it.
Far-right radicalism.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's
impacted him in his campaign because more and more talking about the threat of right-wing extremism in his campaign. He sees and fascists everywhere because they are in his mentions f***ing with him.
Will would begin to take more extreme measures in dealing with his reply guy enemies when he would begin to threaten and dox random users while in the middle of his campaign, possibly making him the first political candidate to openly dox his naysayers. When arguing over inflation levels from 1977 to 1981, Captain Dreamer 7 asked, what exactly happened for the next 3 elections after that, Will? To which Stancil would reply with dox threats.
Hey, does the rock climbing community know you're a Stancil Staffel? Do they know about your mountain project pages? I don't think they'd be very happy with a Stancil Staffel.
The rock climbing community?
Oh no.
The rock climbing. Okay.
In their midst.
Not long after this, Stancil would follow through with his threats of doxing by posting what he thought was Captive Dreamer 7's real name. Carl would attempt to warn Will that this was in fact not a real dox, to which Stancil would respond by saying, lol, you're the saddest person on the entire internet.
This is very confusing because why would this guy say, I've been doxed and announce his name? That seems like a trollish thing to do.
Absolutely. So my first impression of this was like, Will just doxed the wrong dude for sure. Like, there's no way he got this right.
I assume Will was riding high and believed Carl was trying to sweep it up for Captive Dreamer 7. Unfortunately for Stancil, Carl wasn't lying to him, as Captive Dreamer would then mock Will for fail doxing a random liberal U.S. voter from Portland, Oregon. Quote, congratulations to Will Stancil for doxing some random libtard from Portland and leaking personal info and smearing him. This will surely win the Somali vote in Minnesota's District 61A. Will Stancil will double down with his flame war internet spurred fight tactics by encouraging undercover quote-unquote journalists to attend Steve Saylor's event. I personally take this as a call to attend and harass people at the event, but you can determine that as the viewer. Will would make calls to violence against an ex-president and at the time presidential candidate when asking,
so is there any reason Biden couldn't just drone strike Trump?
This was January 1st of 2024.
Wow.
This was literally less than 2 weeks later. That's the
Trump and end this.
Jack Posobiec would
holy shit.
Quote, you have less than 6 months, Will Stancil. The presidential election was less than 6 months away. However, this would cause Will to spiral into fantasies that right-wing Twitter were going to physically come after him and attempt to end his very existence on this mortal plane.
This is an open threat from a far-right account with 2.5 million followers. This is where we are. These fascist goons are so emboldened by our rogue Supreme Court
goons
that they're openly threatening to.
I like how Will Stancil, like even in the screenshot, is talking about like Biden drone striking Trump.
Wow.
But like he doesn't see the irony of this.
Liberal politicians.
This guy can't be real.
By accusing somebody of threatening a politician directly after making a call to violence to drone strike Donald Trump.
Oh, but it's okay because it's drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
You have less than 5 months refrain means.
He's not a politician. He's a fascist inward, right? Like
every single day, dozens of these far-right accounts, many anonymous Stancil Stoffel accounts, imply or say outright that they are going me for being a liberal.
This may be the most spiral from Stancil in this entire video. Will, you called for a drone strike. Then when someone gave you the time left before the election, you
it's like the Family Guy scene where Glenn goes, "Oh, Peter, when am I gonna get my, my spinoff, Quagmire? You're like Quagmire. You're a great business." And it's like, oh, like why am I getting harassed for this? Will, you called for a drone strike on the president, dude. Like what the hell? Like, does he not get it?
He genuinely doesn't see it. But we just got a super chat from Sullen the Lich for ARS 100 saying applying to leftists their own methods is just fair play. Remember, commies, no bad tactics, only bad targets, right? We're being so lefty here. I don't know. That's probably something Will Stancil said personally, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd probably go on his Twitter and just look that up. Like, there are no bad tactics. Probably like 30 of those same tweets. Yeah.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
Secondhand embarrassment. Go canvas, dummy. Make calls. This isn't how you win. On August 2nd, a Minnesota outlet would publish a story titled, In Minneapolis, House DFL Race. Candidates knock doors while Twitter looms. Where it's pretty apparent that locally, Will is seen as totally unhinged as well. And it reads, Katie Jones and Isabel Rolfs, also a candidate in 61A primary, have taken a Midwestern nice approach and refrained from openly attacking Stancil for his provocative tweets. In one post after the U.S. Supreme Court's presidential immunity ruling, Stancil wrote and then later deleted, quote, is there any reason Biden couldn't strike Trump and end this? They avoided negative attacks, but Jones and Rolfs verbally subtweeted Stancil, seemingly criticizing his Twitter presence while not calling him out by name. Quote, what we say on social media has consequence. When we're in elected office, what we say holds more weight, and we have to take responsibility very seriously, Jones said during the candidate forum. Rolfs added, quote, we do need to be careful and cognizant about what we're posting. The DFL is a team. If one person says something on social media, it affects the entire party and our ability to...
I bet you they're only doing this just for like they're only doing this for like the electoral reasons, for the optics, so they can beat Will Stancil in the primary.
Govern. Stancil's face visibly reddened during their remarks about his online presence. An independent expenditure committee, United 61A Neighbors, registered with the state recently with the apparent goal of defeating Stancil in the primary. Quote, Will Stancil was busy chasing Twitter clout when he should be listening to our communities. We deserve better from our elected leaders, the group said. Stancil acknowledged that if he is elected, he would, quote, turn stuff down on his Twitter. Emily Yukis, the artist behind Alfred Alfer and political commentator on the right, would be inspired by Stancil's story and begin poking and prodding him on Twitter. The first thing that she would put out would be a music video that was a play on the Will Stancil the woman at a New Year's Eve party in 2011. The video sees Stancil celebrating New Year's Eve with a freak-off party with B. Diddy. The 90-second length has imagery of comatose women, Stancil spiking drinks, and women running in terror. Unfortunately, due to the copyright, I can't play the video for you, but I highly recommend it, and we'll link it in the description. Stancil would...
This looks unhinged.
Diss tracks on him at this point, but would disparage Emily's edit. And this would be the start of a campaign of shitposting...
Don't lie, I know you're gooning too.
It went on for months.
This is crazy.
Okay, that's not a Sonora, that's McDonald's.
Mickey D's. I love McDonald's.
I mean, we're watching YouTube videos. Hopefully, this is all compliant.
Will sells. Hell yeah.
They Will Stancil Jacks.
Will Jack, yeah.
Stancil was not a fan of Emily Yukis. He would attempt to use his 100,000 followers to get her account banned several times, though ultimately to no avail. I will say this in regards to the subject: the memes and poking Emily was doing towards Will was in a very lighthearted and goofy way, in my opinion.
A squirrel eating Will Stancil's face.
How can you look at that and think, oh, she's harassing me?
By carving his face into a pumpkin for Halloween in honor of it.
It's very comedic.
I mean, to be fair, that is going a little far with this.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, that pumpkin carving looked pretty damn good, right? Like, can you really be mad at yeah? Go
Let
back.
me rewind it.
Look at that. That took effort, dude. Like, she had to look at his face. Like, she had a photo of him and had to look at it for a few hours just to make sure it came out right.
This is like if you just made a childless cat lady right wing. This is the kind of behavior you'd get. Like,
I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I wish someone would do that for me.
A pumpkin for Halloween in honor of it.
It's very comedic to me. And then just the way he talks and his mannerisms is just very comedic and has inspired a lot of art in the last few months.
I've got a psycho
inspired art
who's making videos and memes about me, hours and hours every day, with the encouragement of dozens, if not hundreds, of other Stancil staffel creeps. Most of you do not see how bad these people are. They stalk me every day so I get a front row seat. They are literally the most repugnant, hateful, broken humans I could ever conceive of. Pure seething hate.
Really?
Respond by saying, the irony, Will, is that we love you more than anyone else on this website. In fact, I don't see you have any fans other than the far right.
It's actually kind of sad how much hate he gets. It's really ironic because for me, having such a controversial political ideology, I get so much love. All of my interactions on Twitter are positive, and then his Twitter is just all negative.
On August 13th, 2024, Will Stancil would lose the Minnesota 61A House seat to
boo.
It's over.
On August 13th, 2024.
It's over. But look at look at that voting percentage though. Katie, so by 600 votes. Just about, Will Stancil lost.
I mean, how many were there total? Let's 4,000.
Roughly 8,000. Let's say
850, something like that.
Yeah.
Or 800, 8,500 is what I meant. But yeah.
600 votes he lost.
A House seat to Katie Jones.
I want to see Will Stancil.
I bet all of those votes were from Nazi right wing accounts.
Yeah, all 4 of them in Minnesota.
Yeah, they stole the election, Manic.
Yeah, I
swear, if he actually tweets that, if he tweets that exact thing, that the far right stole his election, I'm gonna be so pissed. Does bro not really think that a woman could win on her own merit?
I want to see Will Stancil in Congress. Okay, I want to see him personally confront
dude. Imagine Will versus Trump.
Real.
You thought
Zelensky versus Trump was bad?
Of the votes in the district, and Katie Jones would go on to win the 61A House seat. The WillStancil.com website that his fans made still exists, though it got a bit of a makeover, specifically the support section, which now links to the pumped up unofficial Will Stancil crypto coin, and its description reads, "Seize your inner will to power." Literally buy, sell, trade, and heart is content. Whoever has the most will is the biggest Stancil. Will would take time off.
Bro, it's 20 in 2024. We got a Will Stancil shitcoin.
Twitter at one point and go to Blue Sky, which is the safe space Twitter for liberals.
It has nothing on Hawk 2 coin though.
Over there, and he would be blocked by 11,988 leftists on the platform.
And his blue ski is all negative. It's all people making fun of him and dunking on him and saying really horrible things about him. Yeah. So, but he gets as much hate on there, if not more, than he does on X.
Today,
he's not even welcome on Blue Sky.
On Twitter, posting about Donald Trump, his cohorts, and how the world as we know it is coming to an end. I would like to say he learned to deal with people online, but really the whole experience has made him a lot more extreme, where you can see him making violent threats towards large groups of people in which he deems the membership. His original position as a research fellow no longer appears when searching for his name on the college website, and when asking him if something happened, I got no response. Whatever Will decides to do in the future.
The college scrubbed him from the website. That's how toxic he is.
Not even the college he graduated from was anything with him. Holy shit.
Politics or otherwise, I wish him all the best.
Yeah, so shout out to Shamu for this lovely documentary going over
It's a very keynote video. I liked it.